Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. It's a beautiful Saturday. It's a little chilly out. The birds are singing. Snow's almost all gone again. So should be gone this week. We're going to get into the 40s. It's like 26 right now, 27. It's gorgeous out. So we're going to get in here, get the shop turned on. Got a few things I'd like to accomplish today. One, some boxes have shown up, so I want to check and see what we all have. Two, that box has a camshaft in it, so that's for that motor. I think some of the grill stuff is in there. Well, I know the grill itself is, but I think I got one of the eyebrows, one of the doors. So we'll kind of work with that. And one of the other things I want to do this weekend, probably tomorrow, is get this cleaned off, which, you know, that won't take very long, and move the Pontiac over. So Power Tour, I know it doesn't seem like it's that big a deal, but he plans to go on Power Tour, and he sure would love to have air conditioning. So that car needs to come over, and we got to pull a lot of stuff apart, and it's going to be a lot easier to do right here than it is right there. So we'll get that moved this weekend. Unfortunately, there's still a bit of snow over here, and the sun never shines on this side. When I built the shop, I really actually wanted the doors on the other side of the building, and I wanted it over there. But the cost of the fill that was going to take was prohibitive. So this shouldn't be too terrible. In fact, this afternoon it'll be above freezing, so I might come out here when it softens up and kind of scoop it a little bit. But we'll see. But we'll get that moved over. We'll get this stuff kind of moved. And then I think I'm going to move the hood to under the Impala when we do that, just to keep it safe and out of the way. I'll verify that I can actually run it through here, but it looks like that shouldn't be an issue. So let's get to work. Oh, and I had been looking for this. I wanted it the other day on the 55. It was not in the house like I thought it was. So let's get started. And then because I did look at my spare first gen, I now have a better feel for how this is supposed to look and feel. And I gotta, here, let me grab a stick. See, as you're coming in here, I'd like that to be a little more full right here. Let's see what the other side looks like. Okay, let me change hands here. Yeah, see, this side definitely looks more like how I want. So as it comes across here, so a little more build up right in here, and then taper into here. I think that's kind of where we're at. And yes, very nitpicky. Literally no one else in the world will know or care. But if it means that I'm learning a new skill and getting a little better at something, might as well do it. Yeah, I think I'm also going to knock this in a little bit. That shouldn't actually be that hard. So yeah, pieing this out did work here. I may put a slice here and kind of pull here a little bit, which means, of course, which of course is why we tacked that, just to kind of make that profile the way I want it. See, there's a whoosh here that I hadn't noted the other day, but now that I've looked at the black car, I know that that'll be visible. Okay, so we got the passenger's eyebrow, the driver's door, but not its bezel, the lower, which is actually the part, or one of the parts I wanted. I really wanted this and the driver's side because that's what I'm shaping against. But this at least is a start. So, let me do a little cleanup in there, and then we will try to mount these two and see what we've got. Oh, I didn't get very far there. Don't know if you're noticing here, but let me line that over its hole, which would be right here. So yeah, you can see just how far off that is. Well, you know, aftermarket garbage is garbage. We knew that. Okay, yeah, here's the old one, here's the new one. Not even close to the same arc. Is what it is. Also, hadn't noted, this one's got chrome on it, which means I bet the grill does too. Bummer. Hadn't expected that. Okay, getting closer. Wound up slicing here. Oh, I guess you guys can't see that. Slicing here, a couple across, and I've got it mostly welded in. I don't know how well to show this, but suddenly this is much more square than it was. I'm gonna work this peak a little bit back so that it's in line back here and here. So I may have to do a slight slice right here and hammer it, but we're getting there. It's starting to look the way I want it. I'm just ignoring the eyebrows for right now. Well, I don't have this one and two. Oh, geez, I don't even want to deal with that yet. Don't know how easy this is going to be to see. But this, I wound up just rebuilding this corner so it was easier. And you can see we're really getting there now. That's pretty close. And then something I've learned is not to grind everything down. Let the filler do its work a little. I may grind this a little more, but I don't want to thin this sheet metal here. So if I go too crazy grinding here, it'll be a pop can. So this isn't too bad. It's almost there. I've just been hitting it with this little sanding disc. You can see we've had to move that a lot. I'm not sure that this is going to be in the right spot, but knowing that the eyebrows don't fit anyway, and so this is an old one. I know I say it all the time, not left-handed. But you see we got this problem here. Yeah, and then once you line that up, now that don't line up. So luckily we've got the old ones. We will find out just how hard it is to reshape them. Not doing it to the new ones until I know what's what. These aren't free. All right, here I've got an old one mounted. This is just kind of pinned, but I've got a screw here, screw here, screw here, and a screw here. And I've been just playing with how bendable this is, and you know, you can see I was smacking here, so obviously you can't do that. So, but I think I can make a wooden tool to use to relax these, because they are just stamped, I'm assuming aluminum. You know, they sure look aluminum. So I think that's what we're going to wind up having to do, is fit them. I don't imagine any other aftermarket ones are any good, especially since the factory ones also weren't good. So I might be chasing the wrong fight here. But here you can see how much of the blue will show at the lip. And that's just that's not too bad. I would prefer, well, actually, I guess you'd never see it up there anyway. I'd prefer it to be even, but it's not how these are made. Just is what it is. But yeah, that would look pretty nice, I think. So we're slowly getting there. And luckily, we have no way of knowing how much time and money we have spent, because we don't want to know. Well, I was going to film all the drama, but it started right up. So there was no drama. Just took the battery tender off, turned the key over, let it prime, started right up. I know it's only been like 4 months, but still, that's not bad. So I'm gonna let her charge up the air tank. We'll get her lifted and see about pulling her around. All right, car's out. We're in high rider mode. Here, let me show you. It looks cool, but it took a few minutes to charge up. Okay. So let's throw her on the lift so Kevin can work on her. I know he's got a lot of things he wants to do yet, so we'll be right back. Once again, no drama. She's just easing right up the ramp. So it feels pretty centered. I think it's got to come forward more, but let's take a peek now that we're past my hood. So nice and square there. Actually, if we can work there, that'd be great. But I think I gotta come forward because I'd like to still be able to open the tailgate. But I couldn't have put that more square. And 4x4 mode sure makes that nice. Then I didn't have to worry about scraping on the lift or on the jack on the lift. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think I could have squared that up any better. Let's see how far forward I gotta go though. So, because obviously I gotta come forward a little. And not that bad. Let me knock her forward. We'll put the door down. I'll be right back. She's placed. When she loses air, we're not going to crunch the fender. And the tailgate can be down. So let me pop that back down. Let's see. Plenty of room there. So after a little while, we'll pick the car up and slide the hood out. But I'm going to go check on the Hound. I haven't seen him in a little bit. So look at that. Took care of that problem. Alright, neighbor Jeff just came to check on my progress and see how I'm doing. And I just pulled that eyebrow back out. Getting ready to yank that off of there. A couple things I want to do while I'm here is probably get that bent up to match here. And I don't know that there's much more I'm going to be able to do over here until bodywork time. So it's high here and here, and then in the middle there's a ridge, but then there's a low spot between them. And what I've been learning, especially on a 63 Cadillac, is don't make things too thin here. Let the body filler do its job. This is an ideal spot for it, especially with the bumper here and everything. That's a good spot for making that shape out of the filler. So that's all coming along pretty good. Like I said, I'll try to match that a little better. And then pretty soon it's time to start figuring out what we're going to do there. Let me grab my level, because you can see if I go from that corner out, you can see it kind of bows. But if I try to even get to that corner, I can't. So this is low. So what I need to do is take a measurement from here up, come over here, make the same measurement, and then figure out how much that has to go up and how. I'm really hoping I'm not coming in here and slicing and dicing, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. Okay, so just kind of doing a little more work here. Got a few low spots. I'll keep working. Now, trying really hard not to have to cut this. You know, remember we already shaped it once, but we're getting close. So let me see where we're at. The last time I looked, here, let me lock that. Can't get there from here because I'm not left-handed. Okay, so going from down to the bottom there is 8.5. Down to the bottom is now 8.25. When I started, it was 8. So we're actually getting somewhere. At this point, knowing that there's some variations between, you know, the point I'm using as a reference, I think I'm pretty close here. There's been some bending in here to make this all happen, but we now have 8.5 to the peak here. So it's still, you know, a little low, but like I said, we don't know that that's actually perfect there. And this is 8.5 below. That is a considerable improvement. So I'm going to go ahead and get the valence mounted, or upper header, or whatever you guys want to call it. Okay, got that header back on. It always looks fine from above, although I've got some work to do here. You can see I'm a little proud, so I'll knock that down in a second. But the big thing being, this is starting to really come together. Oh, it's literally right there in my face. So remember before, See, now we've got that gap coming forward. And when we come over here from the same point, gap coming forward. But remember before, this was down so low that I couldn't touch up here. It was doing that. And I realized for you guys that was probably like a minute ago. For me, that was a little while ago. So that's already looking better. That's a pretty good improvement. It took a combination of things. I really didn't want to cut it apart again and redo it. So we did a lot of relative work here against this common point and against a bunch of blocks. So that's much improved. And I threw a couple tacks in real quick right here. They're not real pretty. They don't have to be. That's just to kind of hold this relative while we're working. But that's starting to look a little better. Yeah, look how much nicer this whole thing looks. So the other thing I'm noticing is I've got that folded in pretty good. Looks like I could do some little folding here. I don't think it really matters once the pieces are in, but I can fold that a little nicer. Filings sticking to all my tools because the magnetism was getting too much, so I had to do a quick wipe down and vacuum. I think I'm going to do a very rough cleanup here, but I'm getting pretty close to happy for today's little bit here. Anyway, either which way, I'm going to be taking a break here shortly. Something I've been thinking about, it's been driving me crazy, is, okay, so we're saying, 8.5, keep going across, like over in here, we're in the ballpark, all this moves a little. Coming across, we're in that 8.5, we're in that, we're right where we're supposed to be. When I go look at this old fender, it wasn't 8.5. It wasn't even 8. So, let's try the other side. Now remember, the old bezels were really beat to crap to make them fit. So, that always makes you wonder. So, let's see what we get here. Yeah, see, this side is in that 8.5 range. Might be why that driver's bezel was so smashed. Well, we know that this fender is no good. We know it's been modified. It's also an original RS fender, but something has really happened to it. Well, there's been work there, and we know this is free. So, yeah, another reason why all this had to go. This thing is really crushed down. Gallery's all hiding back here, but we've been fitting this old stuff in, trying to get things, making sure that I'm happy with our gaps. I've only barely got them bolted in down here, and these are just pinned, so they're loose. Got that kind of pinned up. But you can see how this will fit. And when I first started, I didn't think I was going to be happy, but suddenly this got a lot nicer. So, and this is that old beat up one, so don't worry about that. I'm going to have to look at realigning this headlight, obviously. You can see there's something fishy going on there. I think this one's not as bad, but also I've still got to do all that. So, always a little more work. I'll start fitting this side here shortly. I want to get a couple nuts on here. The problem is the ones I got are lockers, and I don't want to lock it in there. I just want it to kind of hold it. Okay, so now that all this is back in and we've kind of knocked the aluminum. Remember, this is all the old stuff. We're not using this, but it kind of shows the stuff. I've got to do some work here. Something in right here. Also, can't help but notice I'm not hearing anything happen on that side. It makes me nervous. So this has to come up. Problem is, something else also has to happen. It feels like maybe I'm not sure. I'll figure that out. Might be dipping this valence down a little bit here. Got this whoop here, which we had seen this before, and I'm sure if the car was on the ground, you'd probably never see it. But you can see there's a fold there. Let me grab you some extra light. So see that stamping fold? I can probably improve the look of that. Over here, now that I've got this all bent and fixed up, I'm really happy with how that's coming out. This door even lines up pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that as well. Like I said, this one, there's some work to do, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it this morning, but once all this stuff arrives from this grill kit, I'll look. But man, when I ordered it and it said chrome, I thought that meant that this aluminum part was all chrome, and it actually means they put chrome lines on here. And I've actually done research, and it turns out for a little while in 1968 that was actually the way the factory was shipping them, but in May of 68 they quit doing that, and I bet it's because it looks ridiculous. We'll see. You know, I'm not saying I'm not going to use them, but at least the two doors and the grill itself are probably going to go back. You know, this stuff's expensive enough, but I think this is a pretty good improvement here. Just got to do some lineup there. So imagine you're at standard height and there's a car. Only use the cold. The hot has nothing hooked up. So, all right. This video has actually gotten longer than I was expecting. I thought this would be a 2-day video, but I think it's going to be a 1. I don't know if Diesel and Pixie are coming up to work on the Catalina tomorrow. If they do, well, we'll definitely film it. If they don't, well, you know, it's their car. They can come whenever they want. But at this point, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I think I got some stuff done today. I'm feeling pretty good about it.